Okay, I allowed you to record. So do you know how to record it where then you transfer it onto YouTube and then you post it? So what do you do with your Team Zooms? How do you post that?
It goes to my computer.
Oh, it goes to your Zoom. It goes to your what? Your Zoom account? All right. Well, we'll hope this works. Mine is my thing. Like my computer decides to record or not. Like it just depends. It's weird. I need to get a new computer, even though this is a new computer.
Well, mine did that in the beginning, but it was actually the user.
Well, listen, I've done this enough that I don't think it's me, but it could be me. You know, it could be me.
I think we can all agree that parking is not going to be a problem. Sharks, we're on the verge of
Oh yeah, that was Lori's television. But no, wait, one more minute and then we're gonna get started. Hey, Angie. Some people are not showing their face.
Hey, I'm driving in the dark to go pick up my son from basketball. So
No, that's all right. Dedication. All right,
hey,
so I'm just gonna get started. So you're recording, right, Lisa? Yeah, she's muted, but yes. Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay, so welcome to our Rockstar Director mini meeting. So this is for those of you that are new. I think like Ashley, you've never been on one of these. Kim, Stacy and I do a lot of the things together. But what I heard from you guys is that you wanted some just Steve time every month, like a half, a chunk of time, just because, I'm a little different. I engage a little different than maybe Stacy does, which is all totally good and great. So we do these half-hour calls. They're different every month. This one is going to be about earning the 2021 incentive trip. So some of this will look similar if you were on the organization call the other night. The half of the end of it is different, but because some of you weren't on it, and yes, it's on the website, but I have been doing this for almost 4 years now. So any questions you have, like, you might read this and like you may have read it on the website and you're like, I still kind of don't get it. So this is your chance to really ask me questions if you kind of how fuzzy might work, if it's not unpacked as easily as you might want it to be. You can just ask me questions about all the things, okay? And then I can help answer them. And then at the end, I'm going to talk about different scenarios on like how to help your teams really understand how they can actually realistically earn the trip, right? Because we are not, yes, the majority of people that earn the trip are directors, but I think that's largely based on the fact that the way the points were awarded people based on their title. They had less points to accrue, whereas that is completely different now. So it really is more of an even playing field for anybody to earn the trip because everybody has to earn the same number of points. Now, of course, and we'll talk about it, of course you can, if you are a title of team leader or above and you hold that title and you're paid at it every month, then yes, there is the opportunity to earn more points. But like my sister said on the call the other night, if you were on that call, the majority of the points she's earned are from selling. And when I started the first trip I earned, which was a cruise, I earned it in 6 months, and I didn't have a team until the end of probably the very end of October. So I was strictly selling for the majority of the time, and it's really important for us as leaders. Well, obviously, hopefully you all want to go on the trips, right? Obviously. But it's really our job as leaders to create the belief in your team members that they can have exactly what you have, right? It's tricky, and I know this for sure, but I'm sure you guys, your guys' levels as well. It's very tricky to sometimes seem duplicatable because you're Lisa, and Lisa's a senior director, and Lisa has however many directors, and I'm a consultant, and I can never be Lisa. Part of our job is to help each person understand that they can be Lisa, they can be Steve, they can be Kim, they can be Lonnie, they can be Angie, etc. And one of those ways is by teaching them that they too can earn an incentive trip. Does that make sense? Okay, So I'm going to go over the requirements and stuff, and you guys know this stuff, but it's not going to hurt you to hear it again. And again, this is kind of your chance, not just reading the website. This is your chance to ask me questions if you have them. But the level 1 trip for 2021 is a 3-day cruise to the Bahamas on the Royal Caribbean Navigator of the Seas. It's April 23rd to 26th, 2021. The trip for 2, you get a $500 travel allowance. I believe you have to go out of Miami. So if you're not near Miami, then you got to fly there. So that is towards that amount. And then there's a nightly PC group dining and wine service, and there's an exclusive event. The event's always super fun for those of you that haven't been on a trip. It's really a chance for you to network and spend time with your team, but also with other people that are going to be all over you because you're a part of our organization, just like a conference for those of you that went. They're going to want to pick your brain and talk to you, and you're going to feel super special and important. So it's just kind of an added layer of awesomeness going on, right? Lori probably is going to attest to this going to conference, Kim, Lisa, Lonnie, et cetera, okay? So the level 2 trip is Eastern Caribbean cruise above on the Royal Caribbean Allure of the Seas. This is from May 16th to 23rd, 2021. It's a trip for 2. There's Wi-Fi on board, which is great because, as we know, there's not on the ocean, so you got to pay for it, some exorbitant amount. You get airfares and transfers. There's a nightly PC, again, dining with wine service. There's a refreshment beverage package included and an exclusive event as well. And then level 2 elite is you get an upgraded room, which is desirable because, as we know, the rooms are not large on cruise ships. And they have like 2 outlets in them, okay? Level 2 elite also includes the deluxe beverage package and then another exclusive level 2 elite Pampered Chef event, right? And just to show you that people can actually earn this that are not like a national executive director, Amy Walker, who I don't think is on this, but Amy Walker is an advanced director and she earned the elite trip this year. So, and we'll talk about what that looks like, but you know, it's just, you may even be thinking I could never earn the elite trip, but every person can earn the elite trip. It's just a matter of setting yourself up to have the success to do it, right? So the point requirements are level 1 is 60,000, level 2 is 90,000, which already increased from the previous years, and level 2 elite is still 150,000. Anybody have any questions about the trips? I know that seems like a dumb question, but I don't want to, no question is a dumb question, so I just want to make sure everybody knows, okay? All right, so here's just, again, to unpack how this works. So here's how you earn it, right? Number 1, you sell products. You earn 1 point for every dollar in commissionable sales, okay? Now, I understand that many of you, handful of you, whatever, are not doing Pampered Chef to make an income, necessarily. It's icing on the cake. Maybe it's the free products. Maybe it's just the trips. Maybe it's the camaraderie of a team. Those are all reasons that are specific to you, and those are all acceptable reasons, of course, right? But if you want to earn a trip, and you're going to be your first time earning it, or maybe you've been around for a while and you've never earned one, the main way to earn a trip is to sell every month, because you could recruit as many people as you want and all of them do nothing. Okay, and so you won't get the 3,000, and some of you are nodding your head like, yes, 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 yes. I welcomed 13 people in the month of October and only half of them did anything. Okay, so if you want to earn a trip, you can't count on anybody else to help you get the points to get there. That's just the reality of it. So if you're sad maybe this year, this time around, you're not going on the trip with everybody, you know, or you're not happy with yourself for not earning it, I'm telling you the number 1 reason is really because you're not selling enough product. Because you could earn the trip alone just by selling, which we'll talk about in a little bit, okay? Number 2, again, yes, you can build your team and earn points, 3,000 points when you help your new consultant qualify during the earning period, and that's January 1st to December 31st of next year. And then this is new, so director promotion points. When you promote a director or re-promote within the earning period, you'll receive director promotion points. So this is more for your consultants, senior consultants, and team leaders, right? It's a one-time deposit of 5,000 points to celebrate their promotion, and it does not go away. Okay. This is new as well, developing directors. You can earn up to 6,000 points for each new director on your personal team who promotes in 2020. And this is different too. So you get 2,000 points when a consultant from your personal team, so this would be a first-gen director, meets the paid as requirements to promote or re-promote. Okay, so that's $2,000. That does not ever go away. You get another 2,000 points when you help them to be paid at their level in the second consecutive month. And you'll get another 2,000 points when you help them be paid at their level in the third consecutive month. And those points never go away, even if the director does. This is a change. I actually just talked to someone who, one of their leaders, they were wondering why their trip points were less and they weren't as close to Disney anymore. And it's because they lost their director. So they take a hit of 6,000 points.
Oh.
Okay, so this is not, that's not a thing anymore. Somebody puts it in the chat. Kirk has a question. So Kirk, you want to just ask it?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, for the possible 6,000 points, is that for direct recruits only or indirect recruits as well?
That, it has to be someone you personally promote that you personally recruited.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, because like if you recruited Mary and Mary recruited Samantha and Mary Mary promoted, well, yeah, there's a situation where the girl she recruits could promote and her not. So because she doesn't have her 750. So in that case, yeah, you would not get the points.
Okay.
Okay. It's all focused on, as we all kind of have said forever, it's all focused on your personal first line, your personal, essentially, achievements, right, with helping these people promote. Right. Okay. Any questions about that?
Yeah. I just lost it for a second. Oh, if somebody signs up in December but they qualify in January, do we still get the points since they signed up in December?
Somebody else asked me that, and I think I know, like, when we have a director promotion that, like, for example, if you were going for like a promotion like senior director, they would count as a director in your structure needed, but I don't know how it works with the trip point, so I have to ask. I'm not positive. I should have checked on that, actually, but I'll check and I'll post in the director page. Okay. Anybody else before I move on? Okay. And then here's the last one, which I personally love, which is new paid as requirements. So for every month you meet the paid as requirements for a team leader through National Executive Director, you earn points towards the trip. If you are I'm not saying you will, Lisa, but say Lisa Kirtley is a senior director and 1 month Lisa does not meet her senior director requirement, but she meets her advanced director requirements. Lisa will still earn the 1,500 points towards the trip that month, even though she is technically a senior director. She just did not meet the paid as requirements to earn the 2,000 points. Does that make sense? So this is why this is a great tool to use more than ever before when you're working to help people understand the amazing opportunity to promote, because when they promote, right, then they are being rewarded every single month for the trip to earn trip points. Additionally, this is why it's really important that you always cultivate the strongest sellers possible when you are welcoming new consultants, right? Because if they're selling $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 out of the gate in the first month, if they're doing every 4, whatever, add one more, then this trip is going to seem super attainable much more quickly, and they're going to want to work with you to promote to director much more quickly. All the fast track things are going to be even more enticing because they're going to start earning the trip points immediately, the faster they promote. And I know some of you are thinking, well, when you welcome a new consultant, you have your first call and you ask them what they want to achieve, right? Sometimes you probably allow them to lowball themselves when they say, I just want to make $100 a month, okay? I know the struggle to want every single person to come into the fold and do this and be okay with that. But if you are someone that wants to go to the next level as a leader, like a senior director level or above, you have to understand that sometimes it's your job to see the greater thing for that person than what they see in themselves. Okay, and some people may refer to me being to that as me being like pushy, but or not aggressive, but or pressuring or whatever. But if you go into it that way and you think about it like that, then yes, you will come off that way. But if you go into it knowing that the more they do more quickly, the more opportunities you are affording them right? It's a totally different way that you engage with someone and unpack these different things they can achieve, right? So, you know, for me, when someone tells me they want to make $200, I tell them, okay, well, let me help you make $1,000 in your first month. And if you don't like that, then you can make that $200. That sounds great. But I would be remiss if I did not try to help you realize how much money you can make as quickly as possible, because you can, because other people on our team are doing it. Does that make sense? Any questions about the different point values? Okay. So here's some examples just so you can really unpack this when you're dealing with your team members, right? So, and we'll talk about kind of what you should do, you know, moving ahead. But so number one, this is Rebecca. She's a consultant, right? Her goal, we're going to talk about this later, but you know, once you chat with Rebecca, her goal is that she wants to earn level 1. She wants to earn the trip, right? But she does not want to recruit. Don't even try to get her to do it. She's like, hell no, I don't want any part of that. I don't have time for a team. I don't want to support anybody else. I want to earn it and just sell, okay? So if we think about the whole idea of every 4 add 1 more, right? If, you know, there is a way you can unpack this to Rebecca to say, okay, Rebecca, if you want to earn the trip, then you really need to be doing 2 to 3 parties a week every month for a total of about 120 over the whole year. And maybe Rebecca's in her first 2 months, right? And you look, because remember I did a whole call on how to pull numbers and look at people's stats. You look at Rebecca's show average and see that her show average is 450. So we don't want to sell this idea to Rebecca and then have her fall on her face. So we want to take her real number. Your show average is 450. So at that average, when you do 2 to 3 parties a week, you will earn 54,000 points towards the trip of 60,000 needed, right? And along that way, you better believe if 120 parties are happening with Rebecca, 2 at least recruits are going to fall in her lap. And then you, as their upline, you're going to help Rebecca to qualify those people, because she's going to be so close to the trip that we're not going to want her to miss out. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's just like a base level, okay? And this is all based on the 4 parties a month kind of thing, not necessarily 4 a week, which, as we know, what I think everybody should be doing that. That's not, you know, neither here nor there. So then here's another example. Kate is a consultant, right? She wants to earn level 1. She wants to promote to director, right? So again, the idea of every 4 add 1 more. If she's doing 4 parties a month, that means she's going to do 48 parties over the course of the year. Let's say that her show average is also 450, just for the sake of the discussion. So that means that she's going to earn 21,600 points just from sales personally, right? If she's doing every 4 add 1 more, she's going to definitely add 12 recruits over the year. And when she qualifies them all, that's another 36,000 points. And then she wants to promote to director. So as we know, she's going to get those 5,000 promotion points when you help her to grow a team and promote, right? So that gives her a total of 62,600 points. She'll earn the trip. And this does not include any points she might earn for developing leaders or being paid as her title certain or all months of the year. Okay? Does that make sense? I'm not providing these examples because I think y'all don't get it. I just want you to understand this is how you need to unpack it to the people that say they want a trip. Because they're going to look at you and they're going to say, I am not Lisa, I am not Kirk, and I don't earn trips. I do 1 party a month or 1 party a week. You know what I'm saying? When they see it broken down this way, suddenly it seems more possible. Okay? So this is an example kind of more for you guys. So John is a director. He has a goal of earning level 2, right? In 1 year, say that he's doing his 4 parties a month, which really he should be doing more if he's a leader, but whatever. 48 parties times 450 in sales. Again, that average. That's 21.6 points. 12 qualified recruits, because every 4 add 1 more, that's 36,000 points. He helps 2 directors promote and be paid as in the 2 consecutive months following. So that is, remember those 2,000, 2,000, 2,000 for a total of 6 times 2. So that's 12,000 additional points. And then he himself is paid every month as during the earning period for a total of 1,000 points each month, which is another 12,000, right? Okay, so he gets closer to the end of the year and he realizes, okay, I'm a little farther away than where I want to be. So then he decides that he's going to double up on a couple months. So he's going to do another 8 shows times that 450 average to get to 3,604 points. And then he's going to, of course, recruit 2 more people, which will qualify. So that's another 6,000, giving him a total of 91,200 points. Okay. Any questions about that? No? Okay. So what should you be doing right now? Okay. So the last call I did was all about goal setting, okay, for 2020. You should be setting goals for yourself for 2020. I mean, really, this should pretty much already be done, but I mean, you know, if it happens, as long as it happens, it's fine. But you should set goals for yourself for 2020 because let's be honest, right? When Lori wants to go for senior director, Lori knows the number of people she definitely at a minimum needs to work with to help to promote, right? So when you are talking, Lori, to different people about what they want for 2020, you're going to say, you know, is promoting to be a leader of interest to you because it will help you earn the trip more quickly, right? Then you, Lori, understand, okay, I have a pool of 10 people that told me they're interested in promoting. Probably out of that group, at least 3 of them will promote, hopefully. So, you know, that helps to inform, like, throughout the, you know, during the year, how many people you need to personally work with, right? All the while, you, of course, are helping them get what they want in the same vein, right? You also want to create your 2020 vision board. And, you know, this is what I'm going to do. I would focus it around the idea of cruising. And I'll show you an example of that later. You want to hold a call like this for your organization or personal team. They don't know what they don't know, right? So many of them don't know how easy it really is to earn a trip, not at trip, a trip with Pampered Chef, okay? And I would share with them to date that the Rockstar organization has 29 trip earners. 29 people. And 2 of them got there entirely by selling. Okay? I would also probably share, and again, this is different because of the way the points are awarded right now, but I would also share that the majority of the people that do earn the trip are at a promoted leader level to create interest in the idea of promoting and working to build a team, okay? You also want to incentivize your teams to book, sell, and recruit during the year, right? So challenges for products, gift cards, whatever, quarterly at the least, right? Because if there's not teamwork and activity happening, then nobody's going to even see the trip as being possible, okay? And then lastly, you want to train your teams on how to best book, sell, and recruit via your monthly team meetings, or maybe whatever you post in your team page, you know, every week or whatever. And, you know, which again, as I always like to put in there, those team meetings that you should be having. If you're not having them, then that's a problem. You should be having. Okay? So here's an example. I will share this document on the Rockstar Director page. This is not my creation. It's another executive, but they said that we could use it. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Have you guys seen this? No. Okay. So this basically has all the requirements that we just went over, but it has a way for you to really track your success every month. Now, yes, there will be some sort of tracker, I'm sure, on the back end in terms of what Pampered Chef offers like they do now, but this is a great thing to have like in front of you if you want to be really tracking every single month, right? These trips do not happen, like they don't just happen. So if you're not on top of it and tracking your goals to meet this every month, then you're not going to get it. That's just reality. Okay, so here you can see sales, qualified recruit, paid as title, promoted to director, developed directors, total, and then, you know, it goes through all the months. There's also this, which this person created, which is kind of cool too. This is more of a visual way. This has, you know, your sales. This has qualified recruits. It says paid as title for all the 12 months, promote to director, if that's something somebody's working on, and then developing directors, how you can log the different points for the people at the bottom that you promote. And again, all of the requirements on this side. And then this is on the website, on the Irresistible Destinations site, but I just wanted to show you guys that this is there too. This is a tracker you can print, put on your wall. You can fill it out to track your progress of, you know, whatever you're going for. As you hit each milestone and points, you know, you obviously would highlight it. If you have a family with kids or kind of maybe a husband that's not totally supportive, this is a great way to get them involved, to have them be participatory when you are kind of going through each marker. And then this is an example of a senior executive team, while they're working towards it, this is what she's doing. This is an example of what she's doing for her vision board, which this is way better than anything I could ever make. But she's good with Canva. But you can see here, cruising to a national executive team, then a first generation. She has all the different boats with the anchors, etc. So this is just a cute way to, you know, keep their eye on the prize. Okay. Anybody have any questions about anything? Because, you know, these are usually about 30 minutes, so we're getting to be 8:26. Anybody? Nobody?
I always have a hard time figuring out how to actually track, even like this year. When I go in, I'm not always sure exactly how to figure it out. I mean, I don't know. I just always had a hard time figuring it all out.
Yeah, so I can pull it up real quick, but I did a previous video that is on the Rockstar Director page that is all about knowing your numbers, and I did go into, and it's fine if you were on it or didn't watch it, fine. But if you go on there, I go over how to find your trip points. But it's basically all you do is when you you guys can see my screen, right? All right, so I'm just going to show you where to find it. So reports and tracking, and then consultant connection summary, and then incentives calculator, magic in the making, and then you scroll down here and it shows you how many points you have and where they all came from. And then, you know, it helps you, if you enter your show average, it helps you calculate how many shows you essentially need to do, kind of just like what I mentioned earlier, like so-and-so needs to do 450 is their average times 48 parties equals 21,600 points, right? It's the same thing here.
Okay, so that is the actual total point. That is your total points actually there. Okay.
Current is this is your total points. It's all comprised of the way the program exists now: developing director points, recruiting points, sales points, miscellaneous points, consistency, and sales points. And something else too. I think you guys can pull this. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. But reports and tracking, or I'm already there. You can actually pull a report of everybody in your organization who has any trip points, which will be anybody who has actually ever sold anything. I don't know why this isn't loading. This computer is a piece of crap. Hold on. Okay, so see here on the left, and again, I would encourage you to watch, everybody, if you haven't, to watch the video I did. I think it was from 2 months ago on your numbers, because I went over all of this. But if you look here, incentive points summary, it will literally pull up a list of all of the people that have earned any trip points, and then you can organize it based on, like, from top to bottom, like the person with the most. So like here, if you want to pull your entire organization, you would click select everybody, select all, and then click magic in the making, and then click apply, and you'll pull a whole report. This is how I know, for example, like Kirk, Tammy's not on my team, right? So when I say, oh, Tammy, you were in the trip to Disney, way to go, she is in my second generation. So when I pull this report and I organize it by top number of points down, then I can see, okay, so Tammy is a director, which means that this year she needs 52,000 points to hit level 1 trip. She's at 53,000, so she's earned the trip, and I'm going to recognize it. Right? So that's where you find that information. Okay?
So if, and I might be wrong with this, I might be speaking wrong, but if a consultant has a month where they don't sell anything, do they lose their sales? Like their,
so correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just going to say Kirk, because I feel like Kirk is good at this stuff. But if you, I believe you lose your career sales if you don't sell 150 for 2 months, right? Yes.
So if
But
they
isn't
lose
isn't there
those,
the new $20 thing that's still happening?
yeah, but they
The new
said that we
$20
would still lose the career sales if we did the $20 too.
Yeah, the new $20 thing doesn't end the contract, but it doesn't protect your career sales.
Okay. So if someone doesn't sell 150 for 2 consecutive months, then they will go back to 0 career sales.
So does that take away their trip points then too?
Yes, yes. 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 This is also where, like, for example, if you have a leader who's in their, and I don't know any of you that do, I'm just putting this out there. If you have a leader that's in their 3rd month of in their 3rd month of not being paid at their title, and you're like, and you have just 53,000 points in, I have to look at this, but I would imagine I would imagine you lose those 6,000 points if if they lose their title this month. If that makes sense. But I mean, I don't think any of you are in that position, but just thought I would put that out there. Okay, any other questions? No. Lisa, still there? Okay. All right. Well, I will get this posted as soon as the lovely Lisa gets it to me. Take your time. Take your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for recording. So thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of the month and happy holidays. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.